Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, the top-rated sportsbooking app in all of North America, or North America, however you want to say it. But more importantly, man, they safe, they secure, and they are reliable, which we absolutely love because you do not want unreliable transactions taking place this time of year, okay? But more importantly, if we're going to talk about them, you know we talk about them for a reason because it's a promo code, and that promo code is MOATS. It's simple. When you download the app, and you go ahead and make that first wager, okay? You're going to need to put in a promo code named MOATS, all right? When you do that and you make a wager of $5 minimum, you will receive up to $200 in free bets. So now you can use that money to go potentially make more money. It's a great situation, baby. It is an absolute great situation. But I also understand that at times we struggle with it, right? Well, you might know someone that has a gambling problem, crisis counseling, and potentially need referral services. If you're in New York, you see the number to text or call. But for everybody else, the number to dial is 1-800-GAMBLER. But, yeah, Mason did hit him with the, man, it just felt good to be a part of it, you know?
What's that one country song? There might be a little dust on the bottle. Don't let it fool you. It gets sweeter with time.
Hey.
It's a great song.
Come on, baby. Come on, man. Like I said, I was very, very impressed. I was happy as heck for that dude, bro. Happy as heck, man.
Nanzito, things were just running smoothly with Mason under center, and in my opinion, we need to see him again this week to see if he can stack consistency faster than KP.
I mean, you kind of have been hinting at it.
It's not even a debate. Yeah. It's not even a debate, in my opinion. He's QB1 next game. If you want to say rest of 2023, I don't care. Just give him next game.
Yeah.
Let him prove that this Bengals game wasn't a fluke because this is the best quarterback performance we've had for the Steelers in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We're up 24-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Or 24-0 at halftime. The dude had 290 yards and 2 touchdowns for the game, and he had those stats pretty much in 3.5 quarters. No, 2.5 quarters. I'm sorry. It was like probably middle of the third quarter. He had like high 200s passing yards.
Yeah.
Probably could have got it up to close to 400. Well, if he would have hit Deontay, maybe hit another pass or two. Yeah. But also if we wanted to run it up and just keep passing the ball.
We definitely took the foot off the gas.
Yeah, we started handing it off to Najee, Jalen, and just go out with some dignity.
Yeah.
The game was over.
Yeah, it definitely was, bro.
And Mason was at the head of that. Mason was the quarterback. He looked calm, confident. He looked like he was in control. He looked like he's been waiting for this opportunity this whole time.
Yeah.
He's QB1 next week.
Yeah, for me, man, I share a very similar sentiment, man. Just in the sense of Kenny versus Mitch versus Mason. Like you said, none of those quarterbacks have put together a game start to finish like that. Whether we're talking eyeball test, whether we're talking command of the offense, whether we're talking a statistical performance, whether we're talking touchdowns, whether we're talking passing and rushing touchdowns. It felt so good to actually be able to talk about the offense's performance, the quarterback's performance, and not have to deal with the caveats, the variables, the this, the that, and that. It's just like, no, he balled. He threw for this. He threw for multiple passing touchdowns. Oh, we did score touchdowns in the red zone. Oh, we did hand the ball off, and Najee had a touchdown run. Calvin Austin had a touchdown run, and we still were able to score points. We still were able to move the ball. He was conservative when he needed to be, but he was aggressive when he needed to be. 3rd and 1, he going for the deep bomb. We're getting all those things. The routine throws routinely, right? The throw to George Pickens, the first throw where he takes to the crib. It's a routine play, but the ball placement is where it needs to be. So now instead of Pickens having to look down for it, go behind his back to catch this thing, he's hitting him in stride. And now he's able to get his head around, make a defender miss, and go to the crib. A lot of that was taking place with Mason, man. And that's stuff that we really haven't seen with Kenny or Mitch. Whether we're talking the fundamentals of the footwork, one of the things I'm really critical when we talk Mitch. You look at Mason's footwork. I literally just dropped one of those film sessions on him too, right before we started the live stream. But with that, man, I'm kind of highlighting some of the stuff he does with his footwork, his decision making with it, and just his processing the information. And what you said, I'm super happy about, man. Right, the old bottle sitting over there collecting dust. The one thing that I'll say is this, man, and we could not know until he actually came out here and played. You never know what a dude is doing when he is not out there, right? When he doesn't get to play in these games, is he preparing mentally? Is he preparing physically? Is he doing the little things in terms of keeping his own cardio right? Is he getting his own throws in? Because when you're QB3, we already said you don't get one offense reps. If anything, you better go over there and take them practice squad reps. But at the same time, that means you were getting a chance to go against our starting defense. So we're seeing, not only were you mentally in the lab, because visually I can watch his helmet and it's telling me, you know exactly what you're looking for, what concepts you're waiting to have developed in this game. So mentally, you were on the right page. You're studying what you need to study. Arm-wise, you didn't look rusty on your deep ball. You didn't look off. You didn't look late. That's some of the things, critiques that we've had on Kenny, right? Man, it's a crossing route, but he's a little bit behind, or he's a little bit too early, or he's making the receiver have to just do a little bit too much to make this routine play. We didn't really feel that. And then the third part was the confidence. When a player has been done the way that Mason has been done throughout his tenure here, starting with 7, telling him, read the playbook if you have a question. That's not good for your confidence. When you talk about playing in a game, you get knocked out, face mask off, not good for your confidence. Bench for Duck, not good for your confidence. Injured when you come back, not good for your confidence. We draft Kenny Pickett. We signed Mitch Trubisky. We had brought in Dwayne Haskins at one time. We let you leave in free agency and then decided to bring you back at the last minute. All of these different things and everything that had to transpire this year just for him to finally get the opportunity. Man, you talk about your confidence, man. If anything, he should be out there like a battered dog. But that was not what it looked like. Now, granted, when your second play is the bomb touchdown or, the 86-yarder touchdown, that does help in terms of the confidence, in terms of the team, in terms of the fans, because I know we all lit up once it happened. But as a whole, I just thought that his confidence also looked good because we've seen too many times players just mentally shot, their confidence gone from bad play or just benched. Put him back in there, bench, put him back in there. But for him, he was able to overcome all that, man. And that's the reason why I'm like, yeah, I need to see it again. I think it's worth another shot at least because of all of those things, man.
This is the best the offense is looking.
Seriously, baby. Seriously, man.
We said that about our performance in the first game against the Bengals, but we still only had 16 points. And to your point, you're making the Deontay should have caught that touchdown. Jalen Warren fumbled, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was tangible. We're up 24-0 at halftime.
And it wasn't defense scored twice. Oh, defense is like, no, like we were all playing in concert.
We had red zone points. It was just great.
Yeah.
It was just
short
great all
field
around.
Score, long field score, methodical score, control the clock score.
Right before halftime score.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
whenever we were backed up at like our own 10.
Yeah.
We were able to score. Yeah, we were able to be aggressive and say, yeah, let's try to get some points on the board.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Absolutely. And like I said, man, I think this is a very different situation too than if 7 was here because 7 was further along, more proven. Anytime he's been hurt, you know what I mean?
100%.
And even if this is Kenny a year ago when he is the first rounder in that particular season, we still haven't seen a lot from his body of work. It's a different context. But at this stage right now, and based on where we are from a season standpoint, it's like, man, could this dude just gave us our best chance to win a week ago and we saw him, lead our team. That's my big thing.
Yeah, we have 2 games left. It's late in the season. We're not talking like this is week 3 or week 4 either.
I'm like, we talk like, and these are must wins in terms of for us to even have an opportunity at postseason. It's like, yo, we seen this, man. But we also seen what that did for a guy like GP. GP was under heavy criticism all week too, right? We talk about this offense. It's like, man, you could just see how sometimes, man, just that little bit, man, could be the difference in how guys are perceived, how guys are reacting, and everything like that, man. So, like I said, I'm rolling with Mason, man. At least for this week.
You have to.
Yeah.
I would actually, as crazy as it sounds, who would have thought I'd be saying this right now if you go back to the offseason? No, Deke's gonna have this take week 17, but here's the take. I would actually be disgusted if Tomlin goes with Kenny.
Yeah.
I would be disgusted. I think that would be one of his top 3 worst decisions this year. Number 1 is still punting in that Colts game instead of kicking the 57-yarder. That's hands down number 1. But this would be top 3, probably number 2.
Okay.
I would be disgusted. You have to go with Mason. You have to.
Now, is there any way that you pull Mason in this game? What's his leash?
I don't know.
Indefinite? Off
I
the
don't
leash?
know.
We let the dog walk out there?
I think you just got to see how it looks.
Okay. Because I look at it like this. I say, man, that's only 2 scenarios. Actually, only one scenario where I'm pulling him out of this game. And it can't be for a slow start offensively but in slow start, what I mean is 3 and outs, right? Or a sluggish offense. I'm only pulling him out if we're getting turnovers. If he's throwing like some bad picks early on, that's the only way I'm contemplating making any type of switch, because I'm like, bro, after the performance you just had, we haven't seen anything like that, like you said, in a year, 2 years, man. So if we're going to pull the plug quick on a dude with that type of performance, man, what are we saying? What is, what our expectations are for that position going forward? And that's why I'm like, outside of just bonehead picks, you know what I mean? Everybody knows what I'm talking. Yeah, the stuff was like, bro, you killing us right now. Outside of that type of stuff, man, I'm like, you got to let this dude play, man. Got to let him play right now based off of the new information.
Yeah, and I don't think this is like an indictment on Kenny for the future or anything.
He's hurt.
But I said it when Mitch got his chance. Kenny left the door open for this season just based off the totality of his play, where if Mitch came in and balled out, it would be his team for the rest of the season. He squandered that opportunity. So Kenny's not available for the Cincy game. Now Mason gets his shot. He took advantage.
Yeah. Cause and effect.
He made himself like the best quarterback on the roster.
Cause and effect.
It's like, is it even a debate? Is it? I don't get it. Like, what are we putting Kenny in for over Mason? Outside of if you're talking about for next year, but
think about it.
Let's focus on next year. Next year, I want to win games now.
The whole process, though, throughout all of the offensive struggles, has always been surrounded around Kenny Pickett, and anything that didn't look good, it was all right. That can't be Kenny's fault. That has to be elsewhere. So that's the reason why people still have that whole Kenny dynamic, because of everything that happened. And then on top of that, any good performance, it felt like it was amplified when we're like, all right. But then on his bad stuff, it was, not just you specifically, but it was more on coach, this, that, and that. And it's like, well, Mason had these exact same variables. In fact, a worse defense out there. And he made all of this look great. Not once did we complain about a coach. Not once we complain about a play call. We ain't complain about protection. We ain't complain about these receivers, Najee, Jalen, running game, nothing. And yeah, that's the big thing, because up until that, it's always, well, we won't know what Kenny is until we know. We need to fire this guy so we can see what Kenny truly is. We need to do this so we can see what Kenny truly is. So we can see what Kenny is. And that's...
And I will say, he looked good in that game and a half after we got rid of Canada. The problem is we haven't seen him in a month.
Yeah.
Because I'd say if Kenny was in that game, yeah, we probably win. Or, he could make some of those throws that Mason made. But it's just too much woulda, coulda, shouldas with Kenny at this point, where I literally got to see Mason look awesome, where we're up 24-0. And he's putting up 290 and 2 touchdowns in 2.5 quarters. It could have been 400 yards. Legitimately could have been 400 yards.
No, absolutely.
And it's nothing. I mean, he's bombing these deep balls to Pickens and stuff. It's like, this is legit. Like, Mason looks like a legit NFL quarterback out here.
You freeze frame the last touchdown pass, the Pickens, and Mason could have walked and put that ball right. Like, it was perfect.
Dude, the one right before half was unbelievable, where Pickens toe tapped that.
Oh my God, perfect placement. He had to throw to Deontay Johnson. He ran a deep out. DB has leverage. Anticipate, rip this thing. I'm like, oh, that's what you want, Mason? And this is the thing. Regardless of if you're a Mason supporter or not, because I'm sure it's going to be the Mason people out there putting the flag, I've been calling for this. That's all well and good.
There were some people, but not as many people as I'm hearing right now.
Exactly. and let's also put in context. You've never seen anything close to this at this level from him. So
you know what we could say though, that Browns game when he came in at the end, end of the season.
So it's like,
and that was just one game.
Once again,
one game, because all of 2019, our complaints on Mason was the opposite of that Cleveland game, and from what we just saw.
He wouldn't be aggressive.
He was the most conservative quarterback of all time. He was the check-down master. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Playing to not make a mistake, whereas we said Duck played just reckless. It's just like, yo, cut it loose, man, just do me.
Because we always thought Mason had the talent. It's like, dude, you got that arm strength. Just let it loose sometimes down the field. Now, if you want to make the defense for Mason at the time, looking back, hindsight 2020, maybe his weapons weren't as good.
Okay.
That was a rough team. Because Juju was banged up, and then you had Deontay in his rookie year. line was starting to decline, and James Conner's hurt, and you have like Jalen Samuels in the backfield. Who was our tight end? Was it even Vance at that point?
Was it Vance? I feel like it's around that time. Yeah,
We didn't have Claypool yet.
I was about to
Like, who was our third receiver? Juju was hurt, and then we'd have Deontay, James Washington.
Yeah, because it was his second year. Yep.
Maybe you could make that argument, but Mason just didn't look good in 2019.
Yeah.
There's a reason, looking back, we benched him for Duck Hodges, and Duck Hodges got like 3 or 4 starts in a row.
And there was a reason why we brought in the people we brought in this offseason as well. That's my whole thing. I'm like, we know why.
Dude, yeah, no one would have been happy after Ben retired of us just saying it's between Mason and Haskins for QB1.
Because that's one thing. If Mason had ever shown this consistently, this is never even a conversation. This would have never even gotten to this. It would have been, he's taking over the reins as soon as 7 was done. The problem was this never showed up, and it never showed up consistently enough on top of that, man. So here we are. They said it was Xavier Grimble. Shout out to X. Yeah, the Broncos.
Although I will say, I did have that one take. Didn't I say, like, Mason's not a bad QB option if we go with him because of the money? Remember I said that?
Yeah.
After Ben?
All right. Mm-hmm. Hey, however you got to spend it, baby. However you need to spend it.
I have a lot of takes. It's just like you could pull up any of them.
Yeah, however you need to spend it, baby.
No, obviously, I was not all in on Mason. But we'll put it that way.
I just like the football justice, man.
I think it's very fair to say I wasn't all in on Mason being the guy. Yeah. I think a lot of people weren't either. That's all.
Shoot. That's real. Shout out to Mason, though, bro.
But yeah, in the sporadic time we've seen from Mason since he got benched 2019, we saw that Jets game, but then he got hurt. Mm-hmm. We saw him that 2020 game against the Browns.
And then Lions.
Where I didn't think he was that amazing in the Lions.
People hated the Lions game.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Not the biggest fan.
Yeah, and the rest has just been preseason.
And then again, if you want to do the hindsight 2020 thing, all of our comparisons with Mason would be directly to Ben.
Yeah. But you used to say you don't make them comparisons, not even bring his name up with him.
Who?
Mason in 7. You know that.
No, my point is, like, we're constantly comparing Mason to Ben, and that's why Mason's not going to be as good or viewed in the same light.
But that was part of why we brought him in, though, right? Big body, big arm, like 7.
And he wasn't. I mean, straight up, he wasn't playing that good for most of the time we saw him out there. Wasn't playing that amazing. But there are people that pull up the stats of that 2019 season and are like, he had 16 touchdowns, whatever, and like 10 picks. Like, how bad was it really? It was bad.
Yes.
It was bad. But
like we said, if you just watch stats, that's different. If you watch games, it's going to tell you a different story.
Good for him, man, though. Really good for him. QB1.
Shout out, bro. Shout out.
Yeah, so if he balls out this game, balls out the next game.
What, you extended him after that, huh? Because it's only 3 games. This is contract year.
You see how he looks in the playoffs?
Hey. You said like you about to extend him. You paying him?
I'm not messing.
So you about to cut the check.
Take it a game at a time, but the door's open. The door's completely open.
Is open. This is going to
Dude, he looked awesome.
This is going to get unique, though, in the sense of, granted, we want postseason. But if he can only go for 2 more weeks and it ends and he's done this 2 more times with our current quarterback situation.
He's starting in the playoffs. Is that what you're asking?
I'm not even talking playoffs. If we do not make the playoffs, but he still wins these next 2 games, which is still very much legitimate. Now you got another situation on your hand because he's a free agent.
Yeah.
But if he looking like that, that looked like QB1. Am I tripping on that was QB1?
That's why I said he should start next week.
If that's replicated, I'm like, hold on now. Mason about to backdoor contract, bro. I see you, Mason. Mason about to get it, bro. Let Mason replicate this 2 more times, bro. This how you backdoor it, bro.
Crazier things have happened.
I'm telling you, this how you backdoor it, bro.
Right now. You see what Geno Smith did with his career. Rich Gannon had like
Tannehill.
Yeah. Rich Gannon had like a
this how you do it.
Resurgence with the Raiders late in his career.
My dog said, "Hey, don't trip. I'm about to hit y'all right real quick, man. Just wait on it. Just wait on it." Yeah.
Kurt Warner.
This is his swan song. His part B to his career. They wrote him off. We're gonna find out if they truly if he wrote back or not, though, right? We're gonna find out. It worked for Geno.